What's up, guys? I'm just checking Instagram right now to make sure we're live there too. I know we're live on YouTube. Looks like we're live on Instagram. I know what you're thinking. My hair looks like dirty hot dog water, and I apologize for that. I'm in the middle of a hair dye crisis, so you can see it. Like I said, it looks like a cross between algae and dirty hot water, dirty hot dog water. Supposed to be blue, ended up turning green, ended up going back to the peroxide brownish yellow. But that dye doesn't last very long. I've used all the highest grade blue dyes on the planet, permanent blue dyes, but I usually have to spray this blue dye to kind of add to it when it starts getting like this. But I have four things I need to talk to you about. Everybody say four things. Four things I need to talk to you about. Big news, okay? And that's why I couldn't. It looks like the Grinch. Nice. Yeah. It looks like a pool when you haven't put um like a pool that's been sitting all year and or all winter long or something and has algae and um whatever else in it, like all green and brown and nasty. Um, as a matter of fact, we're gonna roast my hair. So the best roast wins. Okay. And right now, I think dirty hot dog water might be at the top of my list, but since that's me, I'm not gonna um I'm not gonna take the prize. So right now, the Grinch. Yeah, four things, five things even. We'll see. But I got four things I want to talk to you about, and we're gonna roast the color of my hair. Okay, feel free to start roasting. Um, One is that we are super excited about the tour that we are about to embark on. My dogs are barking. Uh, because I said embark. All right, get out of here, guys. No, get. I had three dogs now running in here. Um, but one is the tour that we're about to head out on this weekend. We are coming to the iconic Murray Hill Theater in Jacksonville, Florida. Now, if you've never been to this place, Chia Pet, if you've never, and I'm going to read all these so you can keep posting them, but if you've never been to the iconic Murray Hill Theater in Jacksonville, Florida, you have to go. I mean, we've got our poster from years ago up there. You got Petra, Striper, Skillet, everybody. Yeah, Family Force 5, which a lot of you guys know that they're making making new music. But Disciples up there, um, all the bands, man. And so we've played there several times. We love it. And we're coming back this Friday, Jacksonville, Florida. Actually, it's this Saturday, I believe. So this Saturday, we're coming to Jacksonville, Florida. But Friday, we're going to be in Ruskin, Florida. Okay? So Friday, we're coming to Ruskin, Florida. That is going to be crazy. Saturday is going to be Jacksonville, Florida. The tour is because it's March Madness. It's called the Beautiful Madness Tour. And it features Seventh Day Slumber. We're playing new music off our upcoming worship album. But we're bringing out our good friend who I've known for almost 20 years, or probably 20 years, Dawn Michelle of the iconic band, Grammy Award winning, or Grammy nominated, sorry, they should have won, Grammy nominated, Dove Award winning, gold record, Fireflight. She's got her own band, and it's called Altira, and which means fear not. And I'm not exactly, she explained it to me. It's in the Bible. But she'll explain it to you when you come see her. And I'm going to have her on one of my lives. But Dawn Michelle of the iconic band, we're going to an iconic theater. And we got Dawn Michelle, the iconic Christian rock band, Fireflight. Super excited. Her new band is amazing. Once again, they're called Altira. You need to go follow them. And somebody can put some links to Altira's Instagram. And I'm going to look real quick on our Instagram to make sure, to just double check to make sure it's still on live. Yet we are. We're still on live. Shouts out all my peeps on Instagram right now. Yeah, so make sure you guys follow her on Instagram. She does have, Altira does have a Facebook. I don't know why I have the hardest time finding her Facebook and being able to tag her on our posts. So you guys make sure you tag Altira in the comments. But Seventh Day Slumber, Altira, and we've got the amazing Magdalene Rose, who, by the way, has new music coming soon. I'm not supposed to say anything. I'll keep my mouth shut. I'll be quiet. Okay? You know, y'all know it's hard for me. I leak everything. But anyway, so you got Seventh Day Slumber, Altira, which is Dawn Michelle of Fireflight's new band. If you liked Fireflight, you're going to love Altira. And if you love Fireflight, you're going to love Magdalene Rose. Although Magdalene Rose goes a little hard. So it goes heavy. So, but you definitely want to check out Magdalene Rose. So this is going to be a crazy, crazy tour. So that tour starts this weekend in Ruskin, Florida on Friday. Jacksonville, Florida at the iconic Murray Hill Theater on Saturday. So I want to see you there. Please come out and support this tour. I promise you it's going to be amazing. This is the first time that Dawn Michelle has played out live in a long time. And it's the first time her new band is showing any music. So she's also going to be playing some Fireflight hits. So you definitely don't want to miss it. Number 2, the Y2K Reloaded tour is heading to the West Coast. So for those of you that didn't get a chance on the West Coast, you were asking us, we had a lot of people on the West Coast asking us if we could bring that tour that way, East Coast as well, and we're still talking about that. But the West Coast right now, we're booking for the West Coast. We're only going to be doing 8 to 10 dates on these tours. And so if you want Y2K Reloaded West Coast, there's my dog back there. If you want Y2K Reloaded West Coast tour to come to your small town or your big city, church, club, venue of any kind, park, whatever, we would love to come. And you just need to reach out to Lori, Lori, at NashvilleLabelGroup.com. That's Lori, Lori, at NashvilleLabelGroup.com, or send us a message. And that tour is very, very reasonably priced because, once again, on the Y2K Reloaded tour with Seventh Day Slumber, Jason Dunn of Hawk Nelson, Magdalene Rose, and Nate Parrish of Cutlass with his new pop punk project, or punk rock project, Nate Parrish is killing it with that, by the way. Um, that was such a hit that we decided to run it again, but this time to the West Coast. Well, we all jumped in one bus. And because we all jumped in one bus, we were able to save a lot of money, save the promoters a lot of money, and save the fans a lot of money who wanted to come out. And we're doing the same on tour with the beautiful Madness tour with Dawn Michelle and Magdalene Rose. We're all jumping on the same bus and we're all heading out and we're saving money on fuel. And we're going to make the ticket prices low. So a lot of shows were free on the Y2K Reloaded tour. Many are free on the March Madness tour. But we're coming to the West Coast and we want to see you there. So Y2K Reloaded West Coast. We're heading through Texas. We're leaving Nashville, probably heading through Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas. So if you're a venue, church, maybe you've never even put on a concert before, but you want to do it, we bring everything. We're bringing the lights, the sound, the big LED walls. We got a brand new lighting show that was blessed to us. Amazing LED wall that was blessed to us by Refresh LED. Shouts out to Refresh LED, Christian-owned LED video wall company. Amazing people. And big shout out to RCF, sound systems, PA, speaker systems. And we have brand new, added to what we already had for our brand new RCF line array sound system, which is over $100,000 in sound. And we've got to give a big shout out to RCF for showing us so much love. And so anyway, we couldn't have afforded to write checks for this stuff. So we're thankful. We're also thankful to those of you who have helped us to get our bus back on the road. We were able to drive it. We still have a generator that's out. If anybody wants to see about helping with that, that'd be cool. If not, hey, we understand times are tough. But we're hoping to have that generator fixed by tomorrow if we can. If it's not too expensive, there's a mechanic coming to look at it. So please keep us in prayer. So that's number 3. That's number 2. Number 3 is Seventh Day Slumber has a worship album coming out March 20th. Okay? Everybody say March 20th. March 20th, Thy Kingdom Come, full-length worship album from Seventh Day Slumber will be dropping on all streaming platforms, including physical CDs as well. And you can pick up a pre-order of that right now by simply just going to, I believe, seventhDaySlumber.com, or on our Instagram. You can click the link in the bio. If you are on Facebook, then you can just scroll down a couple of posts and you'll see a image of it, of our album cover and the pre-orders, and you can just order it right from there. There are 4 or 5 packages, pre-order packages, from as low as $17.99. $17.99. I think the biggest package comes with the hoodie, the shirt, the cool keychains, by the way, sticker, and CD, all signed. If you want them signed, if you don't want them signed, we won't sign them. And some people don't want their CDs or their hoodies signed. But we will hook you up. And so the CDs, I think a CD, keychain, and sticker is $17.99. I think. I'm going to put this link up here. And so this is the link. You can see that right there. And that's rockfest.myshopify.com. So you can go to that. I think you got to put the https:// as well. But you can go and pre-order the new album. We have already placed our orders, so we're praying to God that we don't have any delays, and we don't think we will, because it looks like, I don't want to speak too soon, but it looks like we might even have them in the next couple of days. At least the shirts and I believe the hoodies and the CDs, but I'm not sure. I don't want to speak too soon, but I think that we will have them. But as soon as we get them, we are putting them in the mail. So March 20th is when the record comes out, but you will already have your pre-order package before the album actually drops. So yeah. So that's number 3. Remember, number 1 was the Beautiful Madness Tour, Seventh Day Slumber, Dawn Michelle of Fireflight with her new band Altera, and Magdalene Rose. Number 2, Y2K Reloaded Tour. We're running it again. It was a packed house at all the events that we did on the Y2K Reloaded Tour. And so we're doing it again in West Coast. Definitely want to do that. Promoters, welcome. Even if you have no experience, we will walk you through every part of it. And no place is too small or too big. Our sound system will play to 150 to 10,000 people. That's how much equipment we have. So anyway, number 3 is the Worship album dropping March 20th, and the pre-orders available. So you can pre-order it. I'm leaving that pre-order link right here. If you haven't seen the really cool new design for the album cover, you should check it out. It is really, really amazing. Shout out to David Joseph. I know he has 2 first names. His last name is Joseph, which is my first name. And his first name is David, which is my middle name. Oh, that's not true. My middle name's not David. But wouldn't that be cool if our graphic artist had my name but flip-flopped? Anyway, he was halfway there. And so I got to give a big shout out to David Joseph. He's been our graphic designer for close to 20 years. And he's amazing. He's amazing at what he does. And he just did such a great job on this album. I just wanted to brag on him. You know, a lot of graphic artists don't get the recognition that they deserve. And I just wanted to give a shout out to David Joseph, but also to all those graphic designers behind the scenes who create flyers and tour posters and things for the church and things for other bands, and so much that they do. And the bands get to look cool and get to have a cool album cover and get to have all the cool stuff. But these graphic designers who design these really cool albums and shirt designs and tour posters and all kinds of things, flyers and everything, church bulletins and the whole thing, they don't really get the recognition. So shout out to all of my graphic designers out there. You are loved. You are appreciated. Thank you so much for what you guys do. And so I wanted to give a big shout out to David Joseph, because he's the guy that's designed our Rockfest logo for our label. He's designed Seventh Day Slumber's logo. He's designed most of our album covers, the other, at least a little over half. And then Ryan Clark from Demon Hunter designed 5 of our album covers. So I just wanted to give a big shout out. Hey, there's Nate. Got to give a big shout out to Nate Parrish. By the way, Nate, who will be on the Y2K Reloaded tour. And no, he's not doing Cutlass songs. Someone asked if he was going to be doing Strong Tower. He plays in Cutlass, but Nate has his own project, his own music, and it's punk rock, surfer. It's California surfer rock, if you ask me. I'm gonna enlarge Nate right here, so you can see that his beautiful flowing hair that is glorious on so many levels. And we were on tour together just recently, all of us in a bus. And I gotta say this: It's not always as easy to travel with, it's sometimes it can be super fun to travel with a lot of people on a bus, and sometimes it can be a little difficult because not all personalities work together for the good of those who love the Lord. All right. And I got to say, Nate is one of the most genuine dudes you will ever meet. And the same thing with Jason Dunn. Um, Most genuine dude you'll ever meet. Jason had his son Ryan on the trip, and man, it was so cool to see father and son. And so it was cool to hang out with Nate, hang out with Jason, hang out with Maggie, who's my daughter-in-law. It was just awesome to hang out, and all the Seventh Day Slumber guys and gals on tour. I obviously love them. I'm with them every day, but no, I mean they're just great people, and I get to tour with my best friends, my family, and and we get to go do God's work together. And make no mistakes about it, that's what it's about. It's about ministry. It's about seeing lives changed. I love to rock. I enjoy it. I was writing new music today, which I can't wait for you guys to hear at some point. But it's not part of this worship album. It's just some hard rock, good old fashioned hard rock, Seventh Day Slumber, and metal. Um, but I gotta say this. Um, I love doing music. I love playing and coming out and meeting you guys. But the reason that we do this, obviously, and we've done it for so many years, is because God is so good, and we want people to know how good God is. That Jesus is in love with you, and He has a plan for you, and it's awesome, and you need to know that. And I know that sometimes it feels like life can be um, lonely. Sometimes life can be confusing. Sometimes life can just hurt. And I just feel like it's important for you to know that while I while I understand and I see people, friends of mine, people um, that I have known for years, and I see that they have been stuck in a rut. They've been stuck in a dark place. And sometimes it can be easy to just say, you know what, this is just the way it is, and um, and take the phrase "it's okay to not be okay" to like a whole nother level that it should never be taken to. It's not okay to live life not okay for the rest of your life. If you believe that there's a God in heaven who has a plan for you, and that the victory is already won, and I see people starting to lean. It's scary to see this because they're leaning more into this victim mentality and almost glorifying like it's a moral thing to be sick. Um, and I realize that, uh, or I hope you realize I'm not talking about someone with terminal cancer or someone who I'm talking about. I'm not talking about, you know, uh, type 1 diabetes or terminal cancer, although, you know, we can still find joy in life, even in those dark moments, because the joy of the Lord is our strength. And we have to believe that. Um, but you can overcome your depression. Okay. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about cancer, although I've seen people healed of terminal cancer. I just had a client that I tattooed. Um, don't judge me for being a tattoo artist, but I just had a client that I tattooed, um, and I just got to tattoo her again, and I hadn't been able to tattoo her for months, um, almost a year actually, because we've done numerous tattoos for her to help cover up some of her past tattoos that she had that she wasn't um, happy about, tattoos that she had that she wanted covered up, and so I was able to help her to cover up those tattoos, which we still had like 3 or 4 more tattoos to cover up. The sweetest lady you will ever meet, and her name is Angie, and she doesn't mind me saying her name. Um, and her husband Ben, who's from Scotland. They're the nicest, sweetest people. And they come in and we'll sit down and we'll just talk as I'm tattooing her, and I've tattooed him, um, and and then one day, she came in and told me that she uh, had a bad report from the doctor, and that the doctor said uh, there's not um, there's no way to tell if she's going to be able to pull through from this. They were honest with her, and so the doctor said we can try a few things, but this is bad. Um, it's like the worst kind of cancer, and I know many of you have family members. Some of you listening to me talk right now have had cancer, and and so anyway, um, we, my wife and I were we were hurting for her, but we believe in the power of prayer, and we never want her to feel bad that God didn't heal her, like she didn't do anything wrong. If God didn't heal her, but we know that God is a healer. But ultimately, God's going to have His way, and God's will be done, right? And so, but we're still going to believe for healing, and and pray for that, and we did, and we've been praying for her. And man, it was great. Just about uh, a week ago, I was able to tattoo her again. We're doing a cover up piece that she got when she was like 19, or in her early 20s. And anyway, but the doctor gave her a clean bill of health, a clean bill of health. And as a tattoo artist, I'm very careful. Especially, I've tattooed a few people that have recovered from cancer and been healed from cancer. Um, and I always make sure that a doctor gives you a paper that I can see that will allow me to be able to tattoo you. And so my tattoo shop is actually in Spring Hill, Tennessee, which is just about 25 minutes from downtown Nashville. I'm in the Nashville area, Music City, USA. But anyway, Angie has made a full recovery, and I believe that God did that, and she believes in prayer. Um, but I believe that God did that, and so hear me when I'm saying this. I realize that God doesn't heal everybody. I understand that, and God has His reasons for that, and I don't know what they are. And I don't claim to know why God heals some and doesn't heal others. I don't know why I'm still here today after a suicide attempt. Why God allowed or used those paramedics in the back of an ambulance to to keep me alive, um, save my life in the back of an ambulance after a suicide attempt. I don't know why I'm here and somebody who attempted suicide actually succeeded and they're not. I don't have the answers to that. I don't know why. Um, I ended up, many of you know this, some of you don't. I became an alcoholic years and years later after God delivered me from a $400 a day cocaine addiction. And I became an alcoholic as the lead singer of this band. And that was 7.5 years ago that I took my last drink. Or over, well, I don't know about the math, but you can do the math for me. It was August. Um, uh, it was in August. August, it'll be 8 years this August. So whatever that math is. But anyway, I was diagnosed 7.5 years ago with end stage cirrhosis of the liver. And they gave me 2 years to live. They said if I quit drinking immediately, I might make it a little bit longer than that. And the longest that they had ever seen in anybody, in my case, was 5 years because my liver was gone. There was nothing they could do. They couldn't even put me on a liver transplant list. And so, and that had to do with my weight. Um, but, which is a little embarrassing to talk about, but it is what it is. I'm down 50 pounds and I'm thankful. And I haven't had a drink in since that day. I haven't had a drop of alcohol. And so, but God delivered me from that. But I got to say that I don't have the answer why somebody lost their dad to liver cirrhosis of the liver, and I'm still here. I don't have the answers to that, but I can tell you this: that when it comes to overcoming depression and overcoming um, things like self harm, um, things that can be terminal but don't have to be. Okay, an eating disorder can be terminal, doesn't have to be. Self harm can end your life, but it doesn't have to. Doesn't you don't have to. You can overcome this, and so I'm telling you from somebody that struggled with chronic depression and was diagnosed with it. Okay, also panic, anxiety disorder. I had panic attacks, severe panic attacks. I had my first panic attack when I was 12 years old. And I believed that I would have to live with this for the rest of my life because I became a Christian. And when I became a Christian, I was still having panic attacks. Okay. I was still sometimes super depressed, and I would continue to entertain those thoughts. It was when I found out that I could take every thought captive, like the Bible said, and I could overcome this. Same thing, with so many other different things that we entertain in our minds, and before we know it, we have we've entertained them so much that we end up doing them, or we can never get past it. Pornography. I know people who have struggled with pornography, including my own, a couple of my own sons that struggled with it big time. And my son Blaze, my oldest son Blaze, has been very outspoken about it. And excuse me, I've been sick, like super sick for the past 7 days. I was in the emergency room. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But 3.5 days ago, I was in the emergency room. Um, so forgive me if I'm talking kind of weird, but um, and it messed up my hair. That's why my hair is this color. But um, yeah, like one of the things I know is that there are people that say, well, you'll struggle with pornography for the rest of your life. Well, you don't have to. I know that's a bold statement, and somebody says that sounds um, holier than thou or super self-righteous. And same thing with depression. Like, well, you're not in my shoes, and you just said that God heals some and doesn't heal others. Depression, while you can have a chemical imbalance or you can take meds for it, okay? And I'm not one of those guys who say don't take meds. I say absolutely take the meds if you have. Make sure you have the right doctor, though. That's what I would tell you. Make sure you have the right doctor, because some people just go in and then doctors will throw you on 50 different medications that you don't need. And I'm going to tell you about that here in a second because that happened to me. And thank God I'm not on those meds anymore. And it's crazy how God has used that. I'll share about that. But anyway, I'm not on here to victim shame at all. Remember, I'm not some guy who has never been anywhere in my life, so I don't have the right to speak on it. I've been through some stuff. And those of you that really know me know that I have been through the ups and downs of life. And, but I can also tell you that my son has the victory over pornography. Our, a friend of mine who struggled severely with, like when I say severely with pornography, I mean severely. Like his marriage was almost over 3 different times. His wife left, and she had every right to. By the way, the things that he was looking at and entertaining. But when but he had been told too, this is something you'll just have to deal with for the rest of your life. But when he finally realized that he could take every thought captive. Now, it doesn't mean that you will never think about porn again in your life, or that you'll never think about cutting again in your life, or you'll never think about, or you'll never be depressed again in your life, or you'll never have an eating disorder again in your life, it doesn't mean that. It means that you don't have to, that you can have the victory over it. You can. And anybody that tells you that you can't either doesn't know, they've been deceived, or for whatever reason, they're not telling you the truth. I think the first two are usually what it is. They maybe just don't know, or they've heard from other people that there's no way to overcome depression, or that you will have to die of an eating disorder, which you don't, or you will have to die of cutting. Eventually, suicidal ideology will eventually get you. It has taken many of my friends, so of eating disorders. Matter of fact, my daughter-in-law won't mind me sharing this, but she struggled with an eating disorder for years. And it was her dad that helped her to get out of that. And she struggled badly and and thought about taking her life. And so here she is now speaking to women and young girls about them being able to overcome this and have the victory. But I'm not going to make apologies to people when they say you're victim shaming. You can call it whatever you want, but I promise you, to the person that's telling me that I'm victim shaming because you, for whatever reason, don't feel like you can have the victory, I'm telling you that you can. You can have the victory. And I'm not judging you for going through what you're going through. I would never do that. And it might not be anything at all that you did to be where you're at. Some people need to be the victim. Like, that's a separate thing than developing a disorder, an addiction, a mental illness. That's different than choosing to be the victim. Some people, like, without being the victim, who would I be? And that's their identity, their whole self-worth, which is having no self-worth. Think about what I just said. Your self-worth is wrapped up in having no self-worth, because that is an identity to you. Having no self-worth. Oh, she's the one that, is always in the corner somewhere, clutching onto her razor blades, or making herself throw up, or whatever it may be. Or he's the guy that struggles with porn constantly, and he's lost everything, and and we should obviously have sympathy for people. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I'm saying there are people who choose that. They don't want to have the victory because they're afraid. What if I get the victory? But who would I be then, without being the guy who, is depressed all the time, or the girl who struggles with this all the time, or whatever it is. And so I'm encouraging you, if you're not careful, you will be trapped in the wilderness for 40 years. And I've met people for years that have been trapped in this victim mentality. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not victim blaming here. I'm hopefully bringing some information to you that will help you to realize you don't have to live like that. You don't. I've overcome many, many struggles in my life. And somebody can say, well, that's you. That's true. It's true. We are all different. But God, our God, is the same. Okay? Now, I don't mean people who don't believe in the same God we believe in. I'm talking about the one true living God. I'm talking about Jesus Christ of Nazareth. I'm not talking about rubbing the big Buddha belly. I'm not talking about Allah. I'm talking about Jesus Christ. And I'm telling you that God, the one true God, the one who sent his son Jesus to die on a cross for you, who in 3 days rose again, who is alive today, seated at the right hand of the Father, He is, he's a healer. He's a restorer. He's your healer. He's your restorer. He's my healer. He's my restorer. So you don't have to be like me to have the same access to this almighty God. Do you hear what I'm saying? You and I can be completely different, but we still have the same access to this almighty God. And he loves you. He loves you more than you'll ever know. You can't measure his love. It's immeasurable. And so I just wanted to encourage you in that. Once again, I know I'm going to take backlash. I'm going to take some heat. And those of you that know me know I'm not afraid to take backlash. I'm not afraid to take heat. But I also don't want to just say things to hurt people's feelings because Joe Rowe's right and because I'm coming at this from a place of arrogance or a bad attitude or a fake humility. You know, I genuinely love you. I genuinely care about you. And I hope that you can feel that from me as I'm talking to you, that I don't think I'm any better than anybody else. As a matter of fact, I think it's quite the opposite many, many times. I've done so many things that I regret as a Christian. Forget what I did before I knew the Lord. I mean, a lot of horrible things. But as a Christian, I've done things I wish I never did. I hurt my wife, who I love so much. And, you know, it's crazy because I never meant for her to have to see me struggle with the alcohol the way I did. And it's crazy because, you know, you talk about, I'm a huge advocate for women. I was raised by a single mom who was abused, beat by my dad, who, by the way, my dad gave his life to Jesus at a Seventh-day Slumber concert years after I met him when I was about 14. And he left our family. He got arrested, actually. But he used to beat on my mom and cheat on her. And I've never hit a woman, nor would I ever. And so I used to think that I was this big crusader who like standing up for women, because if I ever saw you put your hands on a woman, then I'm gonna put my hands on you. And I'm not saying that violence is okay. I'm just saying that's just the way it is for me. God's still working on me. All right, I'm still under construction, you know. But if I ever see you or ever saw you hit a woman or it happened in front of me, I'm gonna stop you in the most non-violent way possible. But whatever's whatever. Now, that being said, here I am, drunk. My wife's seeing me this way. My kids are seeing me this way. I'm saying horrible things as a drunk person. And I bet my wife, and I can brag and say, yeah, but I've never put my hands on a woman. I've never touched my wife like that. And if anybody ever touched my wife, man, I'm, you know, this and that. Meanwhile, I'm hurting her. She would have probably rather hit me than to watch me go through what I went through. But to also her have to go through that, and our kids have to go through that. And I have to be accountable for that. I'm so ashamed for the things that I have done. I don't live in shame. So before everybody comes to my defense and like, brother, you don't have to be in shame. You don't have to be ashamed. Don't ever be ashamed. I don't live in shame. I don't live in shame. I appreciate you trying to pep me up and talk me up and I you know, but I don't live in shame. I just am ashamed of the things I did. And so I choose, at least for these past 7.5 years, to make sure that I can keep putting one foot in front of the other and being consistent to the point that my wife doesn't even remember, though, that probably 5 or 8 year period where it was really bad for about 5 years. But I just want to keep putting one foot and creating new memories that make her so happy that the other ones just fade away, and they will. And plus, we have a big God. And I believe in a forgiving, merciful God. But I also watch the healing power of Jesus restore my family My kids still look up to me, and sometimes I don't know how or why that they would still look up to me, even seeing that for those years. Now, previous to that, I would feel like I was a great dad, um, or at least a pretty darn good one. And, you know, and so, but there was a period there in the middle that my kids had to see that. So, anyway, I know I'm off onto something else, and I feel like God led me to probably go down that rabbit trail. But, but I just want to encourage you that you don't have to be a victim. You can be a victor. You can have the victory. I promise you. But you have to take every thought captive. One more thing for those of you that are struggling with alcohol or struggling with cocaine. I know we were talking about eating disorders and cutting, but alcohol and, um, people make a lot of excuses for alcohol. I did. I can't quit this. It's too much. And then you start making excuses as to why it's okay to have it. Um, and so, but really what it comes down to, that's lemon, by the way. It gets all over my face. Um, Shouts out to my wife, Lori, who, and I know some of you heard me say this before, she makes me fresh lemon water every day. I drink a gallon of lemon water every day for my liver. And she puts fresh squeezed lemons. Um, and so that's pretty cool, man, that she would support me like that after everything I just told you, you know what I mean? But that is God. That's God, man. My wife doesn't only still love me after 26 years of marriage, she still likes me and still likes to be around me, and that's definitely God. That's definitely God. There are people around me 5 minutes that don't ever want to talk to me again. So anyway, look, alcohol, cocaine, other drugs, pornography, um, eating disorders, any of this stuff. I want to tell you what worked for me, what helped me so much, and this may help you. Um, Definitely taking every thought captive, because the enemy is after your mind. Now, like I said, with cancer, you got an infection. You that's that's the diagnosis you have. Your body's trying to fight it, but no matter how many thoughts you take captive, it's you still have the you still have cancer. Same thing with the flu. Now we can pray for healing, but like I said, uh, you can take every thought captive, but there's nothing that you can do about a terminal illness, right? But the mind is what controls the actions, aside from terminal illnesses like cancer and others. Um, the mind controls the action. Entertaining the mind actually leads towards the action. Entertaining those thoughts. So what I want to say is, when I first made the decision to, uh, like, when I made a decision to commit suicide, because I felt like my addiction was too big for me. I didn't feel like there was any way to overcome cocaine. And even after I got saved, I was like, man, this is hard. I'd be clean for 15 days and go back, end up doing cocaine again. And it just kept happening. It was this cycle. I kept relapsing. But something changed, and I'm gonna tell you what changed for me. And this might work for you if you're struggling with an addiction. What changed for me is I finally came to this place where I said, I don't have to not do cocaine again for the rest of my life. Because I used to be like, oh man, I can never do cocaine again. I can never do cocaine again. I can never do cocaine again. And man, that's a lot of pressure when for the rest of my life, I can never do cocaine again. How in the world am I going to be able to do this? I haven't been able to get past a day. What's the point? I can't even get past a day. How will I ever for the rest of my life never use cocaine again, I give up. And then I'd go back and I'd relapse, right? Because it was too much for me. And so one day, it finally clicked what people had been kind of saying in some of these 12-step recovery groups I was going to. But it was something that clicked with me. And I thought to myself, wait a second. I don't have to never use cocaine again for the rest of my life. I just need to get through the next hour without using cocaine. Let me focus on that. Be 3 o'clock in the afternoon, craving cocaine. And so what I do is I focus on that hour, taking every thought captive. Like I imagine this big holy hand grabbing the thought, throwing it in the back of my head and exploding. Many of you have heard me say that before. It sounds dumb, but it's what I do. And I take that thought and then I'd go do something else. Even if I didn't feel like doing it, I'd either start praying, or I'd go keep my mind busy doing something. I like art, so I'd draw something, or I'd call a friend, or I would, go to a meeting, or I would go do something. But what I wouldn't do is dwell on the thought. And then before I knew it was 4 o'clock and I got through the hour. Now I just need to get, now I'm going to I'm going to go to 6 o'clock. So what I've done is I've relieved myself of the burden and the pressure of never using cocaine again for the rest of my life. And before I knew it, I just had to get through the day. And that's what I started remembering. Wait a second. They just said one day at a time. Oh, okay. There's a biblical principle to that, and so just taking every thought captive and making it through today and not worrying about tomorrow. And the Bible talks about that, about, not worrying about tomorrow, and don't be anxious. But it's hard to not be anxious when you're dwelling on everything. I mean, I'm talking about I dwell on stupid things like, dude, man, what if I was driving down the road and because I live where I grew up at was close to, it was the Gulf of America. And I lived down in South Texas, and man, sometimes you'd find bundles of dope, and because it's running in and out from Mexico. And where I lived at, it was right on in the crossroads. So that's where drugs came. There's a lot of drugs and murder and mayhem in my town where I grew up at, Victoria, Texas. And but I'd be sitting there daydreaming about like, man, what if I was just driving down the road and there was a duffel bag and it was filled with like kilos of cocaine? Dude, like, what? Why are you thinking about that right now? Like, dude, first of all, what are the chances? But second of all, like, dude, you're sitting here thinking about that. And it's just crazy. Like, even when I was on dope, I wasn't thinking like that. It's only when I decided to stop. Then the devil puts all these crazy thoughts in your mind. Things you weren't even thinking about when you were getting high or drunk or whatever. You know what I mean? But I'd have to take those thoughts captive. But I realized I was dwelling on them. I start entertaining. I start seeing myself drive in the car. I start seeing myself go cop some dope or go whatever. And it's like this ritual that it's the ritual. It's not even so much the high by itself. It's the whole part of it. Going and getting some dope, walking into the liquor store, getting the alcohol, going and, getting your dope ready. All those things is a ritual. And so the devil loves to just feed that to you. And you got to stop it. And if you can stop it, I promise you that the action itself, if you stop the dwelling and the thought process of it and the replaying of it, you will stop the action because it cuts it. That's why taking every thought captive is so important. But when you sit there and you dwell on it, and you keep entertaining those thoughts, before you know it, it becomes sin. And sin, when it's full grown, leads to death. That's straight out of the Bible. And so, same thing with eating disorders. If you can manage to take every thought captive. Now, I'm not saying it's easy, by the way. So, don't send me messages. Brother, you're making it sound a lot easier than it is. Well, if it was easy, we wouldn't have anybody struggling with disorders. If it was easy, we wouldn't have drug addicts. If it was easy, we wouldn't have people losing their marriages and their families because they can't stop going to www.whatever.com. Sounds easy. Just don't go there. You don't want to get drunk? Don't go drink. You don't want to become an alcoholic? Don't pick up a bottle. Well, that sounds easy. And some people will make you feel bad and make you feel like it's that easy. It's not that easy. It is hard. But so is fighting the good fight of faith. The Bible says it's a fight. So in order to just keep my faith, it's hard. In a world that constantly tells you God doesn't exist, or in a world right now that has made evil look like good and good look like evil. I wonder where that comes from. Who warned us about that? But now they'll tell you that if you say that, hey man, you're not a girl, you're a guy dressed like a girl, then, you're the bad one. You have done wrong. You have done harm. I'm not saying be mean. I have, believe it or not, Seventh Day Slumber has a pretty huge gay fan base, and I know, and shout out to all. Hey, listen, we got people that are on here, and they know that I believe in that dude, I stand on Bible principles, and I don't make apologies for that, but people know me, and they know that where I stand on that, but they love me because they know I love them. I'm not looking at your sin. I want you to come to the concerts. I'm glad you're there. And I'm not going to talk about it from the stage and call people out from the stage like that. But I am saying that if someone demands that I call you a woman when you're clearly a man, I'm not going to. But I'm the one to be made wrong, and you're the one that's right, and that's how the world is deceived. And if you're not careful, you will be too. But it doesn't give you a right to be rude, hateful, and treat people like second-class citizens because they don't believe the way you believe, or maybe they haven't gotten to that understanding yet, even though the Bible says it, or they've heard it before. There's a lot of people out here deceiving people and not telling the truth. And so, I know that I make people mad all the time because I'll tell gay people come to our concerts. I tell straight people who struggle with porn to come to our concerts, but I can't tell a gay person to come to our concerts. Devil is a lie. And was good for the goose? It's good for the gander, or is it good for the geese? You know what I'm saying? It don't matter. Well, we'll stand here in a position of self-righteousness, pointing down like, we're struggling here with a porn addiction, cheating on your wife, because that's what it is, or your husband, because it's not just guys that struggle with that. Women hide it better. But anyway, so we'll stand here in judgment with a sin that I'm getting off into something else, but I'm just trying to keep it real with you. You know what I mean? And so, but once again, I just told on myself about alcohol and about, as the lead singer of a Christian band, how I that's why I can't be up here in judgment. I have my convictions, and I stand by those convictions. And for the past 7.5 years, I've been in the best place spiritually that I've been in so many years. And I'm thankful for that. And it's all because of God. And so I'm not that smart. I'm just thankful that I have a God who has never given up on me. Maybe even when, uh, unfortunately, and not on purpose, but maybe I had given up on what He could do in my life. And so, anyway, yeah, I know I've talked a lot, um, but I really believe that God wanted me on here to share that with you. Um, the fourth thing that I was going to say to you, I ended up, um, was going to be talking about having the victory, but I ended up talking a long time and going around in circles. So just know that that is the fourth thing, is having the victory. I wanted to share that message with you. So, um, yeah, I hope that I didn't confuse everybody, and I feel like maybe I was a little discombobulated. Um, but I have been sick for 8 days, so I hope that I communicated some of that well, and that I didn't come from a place of judgment or being mean or any of that. So, but so I've had bronchitis and, strep for the past 8 days now, and about 3 days ago, I think I had to go to the emergency room. I was struggling. I was having a hard time breathing, and and obviously I was coughing a lot from bronchitis, but also strep. My throat, every time I swallowed, it felt like is a sharp pain. But also my liver was hurting, and I told you I have cirrhosis of the liver. Um, which, by the way, 7.5 years, uh, my liver's functioning normal. Um, or at least, 3 days ago, I was like, it was functioning normal until 3 days ago. And I was like, oh man. And I started getting these kind of dark thoughts. But I couldn't breathe. And my right side, where my liver is, was hurting. And it felt like it did 7.5 years ago when I was diagnosed with end stage cirrhosis of the liver. And I told my wife, I started getting dizzy. And I said, I think, as much as I hate going to the doctor or anything, I need to go to the emergency. And she took me. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. And I was just thinking about her and my kids. What if my cirrhosis is acting up again? Because what had happened is it ended up being in a compensated state, which doesn't happen a lot. But it basically just stopped, like, diminishing, which it was supposed to just continue to die until I die. But it stopped, and then it started just functioning normal. It still looks like a train hit it, but it started functioning normal. And what's in front of your face? I don't know what that means. My nose? I don't know what that means. There's a microphone. But anyway, I'm not sure. Huge gay fan base. Yes. Oh gosh. That's the other side. That's the other side you gotta deal with, is everybody's welcome to at our concerts. I don't have to condone your lifestyle for you to be welcome at our concerts. I don't make apologies about that. And I ain't gonna and I'm not gonna start now. But everybody's welcome to a Seventh Day Slumber concert. Um, but anyway, listen, I ended up at the hospital, and I'll be glad to answer any questions, by the way, about anything I've talked about, even when a huge gay fan base. Um, I'm just gonna leave that up because that is maybe that'll get me views right here. I'm clout chasing now. Uh, or those shock uh captions. Huge gay fan base. You know. Uh, anyway, Oh, emergency room. So I want to say this praise report. Um, I hadn't been to the doctor in about a year, so I'm gonna be honest with you. My wife's been trying to get me to go, but I didn't want to. I just was like, I've been doing good. I haven't had any issues, so I don't want to go and know. You know what I mean? I guess it was that kind of thing because you're supposed to go every 3 months. But I had been going, and it just was been coming back normal. So I was just like, okay, cool. But anyway, here I am with this huge scare. I'm sitting in the. They put an IV on me. I'm sitting there with this IV. They're getting fluids in me. They're wanting to do all these labs, and they said that when they were checking my breathing, it was different on my right side. And so I got all my labs, but I was there for like 4 or 5 hours. I don't know, a long time. But I got my labs back. My liver enzymes looked great. I couldn't like I could believe it. I should believe it because God is a sovereign God and He's a loving God. He's a healer and a restorer. And so they all came back normal. But also I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes like 7 years ago. And they had about 4 years, 3 years later, um, I ended up getting off those meds. And it was crazy because I started eating right. I started because of my liver. I was like, whatever. And so, but I still had type 2 diabetes, but they pulled me off the medications that I was on. Metformin is what it was called. But anyway, so here I am going to the doctor or the emergency room this 3 days ago. All my labs came back perfect. My no type 1, no type 2 diabetes. My liver's functioning better than average, better than normal. Um, Everything else looked good except for obviously I had bronchitis and strep. But those are things, that everybody gets. And so anyway, I just wanted to give you that report and tell you that it's, and I apologize, I told my wife I should have gone to the doctor prior to this. But anyway, I just wanted to tell you, like I just see God doing so many different things. Um, okay, I'm gonna get to huge gay fan base. Um, I'll tell you where we started having a lot of gay people, uh, like following us and coming to our concert. Um, is so I made a post a while back. I took a lot of heat from it from Christians, and I had this image that I posted. Some of you will remember it because it actually made national headlines. It actually made international headlines. So all the Christian media, all the Christian sites, um, all the like not TBN, but I forgot the other one that they had me on their program because they needed to interview me about the post I made about the gays. And the post that I made was actually it was of Jesus hugging a gay. Yeah, you remember it. Yeah, it was of Jesus hugging. Uh, yeah, so my dogs are running all over the place. But anyway, it was Jesus hugging a a gay like child, like teenager, or like trans, um, and it could have been a punk rocker, but you could tell. Um, and I posted that just the image, and I um made I don't know exactly what my post said. You can go back and you can read it. It was years ago, but it said something like Jesus loves you, and that he died for you. I don't remember the post, but it was like controversy everywhere. But people were like, Joe gone woke. Joe's gone woke. This guy who, is pro-life and, you know, like, this Bible believing dude who stands on biblical principles, gone woke. Next thing he's gonna come out as gay or trans, and people were going hard, bro. But anyway, I don't remember what the post said, but at the end of the post, it said he loves you, but he loves you too much to leave you that way, right? So, but I had made this post. It was shared by tons of LGBTQ, um, like pages and things like that. Caused this huge controversy. Preachers were telling me, you're supporting you're supporting the LGBT community, you're a LGBTQ sympathizer, you're condoning it, you're this, you're that. So, so I created another post. And if you go read the other post, it's brutal. It's a brutal, like, slap to the Christian self-righteous people. Okay? And it was talking about like, here we are. Well, first of all, there was a survey done, and the survey was for preachers. I want you to hear me. Pastors, preachers. And this survey was taken of 2,000 pastors or preachers, and it asked them two questions. One was, how many have you struggled with porn in the past, I think, 2 years or year? Okay, 2,000. I think it was at a conference or something. But I had read the article. I verified the article to make sure I was telling the truth. And about 98% of them had struggled with pornography in the past year. We're talking pastors. We're not talking about, Christians or people, new Christians, or I'm talking about pastors. 98% of them, by the way, pastors, I love you. I'm not judging you. I just told you I was an alcoholic as a lead singer of the Christian rock band. So there's no judgment here. That's why I feel like it's important that for me to be able to talk about this, because I don't have any fingers to point at anybody. But at the same time, we got to be careful about who's pointing what fingers where. And so this doesn't mean you condone a homosexual lifestyle, or you condone whatever. This isn't that. This is just what happened. So I'm sitting there and I'm looking at this. I'm going, wait a second. 98% of these pastors. I was shocked because it should have been 100%. But anyway, no, I'm kidding. But anyway, but then the second question was, how many of you still are struggling with porn now? And the number didn't change too much. And so I got to tell you this. This is important. This is going to be hurtful to people that are struggling with pornography right now. And by the way, I told you that two of my kids that struggled with it, maybe all three. But my oldest son has struggled with it big time. But I got to tell you this. When you're looking at porn, you're looking at some of the nastiest things on the internet, man. Okay? And maybe you don't go as dark as the dark web internet stuff or whatever is out there. I don't know. But you're still looking at someone's daughter. You're still looking at someone's son, because, it's not just guys that struggle with it or whatever you're into. But what I'm saying is, you're looking at some of the nastiest stuff on the internet while your pregnant wife is in the next room and there's a Bible sitting on your desk. Meanwhile, you want to point the finger at someone who doesn't really know God and is struggling with their identity. Maybe they don't know They don't feel comfortable in their own body. They don't know if they're a guy or a girl. They've been fed a bunch of propaganda. Many of them have been hurt, abuse, all kinds of things. You don't know what people have gone through. You don't know what people have gone through to be in the position that they're in. And so you're going to sit here and point the finger at someone because their sin seems grosser to you than what you're doing with your pregnant wife in the next room, and then you go and preach on Sunday morning. I'm not saying that you don't have the right to go preach and that God hasn't called you to go preach. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that it's important that we have compassion for those who are in a struggle, for those that are in a struggle and maybe to no fault of their own. You don't know what people have been through, man. I've seen some pretty dark things. And I told you that we have a lot of gay people that started to come to our concert because I defended them in terms, I had Christians jumping on, okay, that's what I was going to get to. I had Christians jumping on the page, and there were gay people were saying, thank you. I know you don't agree with my lifestyle, but thank you for standing up for me, right? So they even knew that I am not condoning the lifestyle, but I love you. And I'm not gonna hate you. I'm not gonna treat you badly. And if I see somebody else doing it, I'm gonna stand up for you. You know? And there is no reason for us to be hateful. And to me, it just comes across as evil, even. Like the things that I see people say who are under the name Christianity, some of the most hurtful things. Oh my goodness, man, the things I was seeing people saying to these people. And so I was defending them, and I spent hours and hours, days and days, and even weeks. As a matter of fact, shows got canceled. You guys remember that? Christian churches canceled Seventh Day Slumber because we support the LGBTQ, they thought. Because I wasn't going to let people go on there and say horrible, hateful things to people while you yourself are struggling with things that you haven't been able to quit doing, and you know the Lord. You know, how much more accountable should you be? And so, anyway, yeah, I didn't expect to necessarily go down this road, but we're here. And I'm not afraid to tackle difficult issues. And so I made a post. It was a brutal post. Like, you can go read it. You got to go back and find it. Somebody will find it and tell you what the date was. But because I called out a lot of the, not just pastors, but just people in general, man, it made national news and then international news. And I got asked to be on podcasts and programs. And I ended up on one program. I think it was maybe Christian, I forgot which Christian television network it was. But anyway, they asked me, they were ready to debate me on homosexuality. And I'm like, I'm not here for that. I told you I stand on biblical principles, and I don't condone cheating on your wife. I don't condone drinking to get drunk. Although I would just say abstain if you can. But me personally, I don't condone any of it. But I did it. I don't condone gossiping, but I did it. I don't condone lying, but I've done it. And so I'm not going to stand here and act super holy, holier than thou, some super righteous person. There's a lot of things in the Bible that I've done that I'm not supposed to do, even as a Christian, knowing better. As a matter of fact, even before I did it, knowing I'm not supposed to do this, and I still did it anyway. Some of you watching have done the same thing. And so anyway, we're going to pick and choose sins. But they asked me, they had a question for me, and they asked me, they said, why'd you post that? Like, what were you thinking when you posted that picture? What do you see when you see Jesus hugging a, a gay person, a trans person? Like, I don't know what they asked me, but like you had to know it was going to cause controversy. I said, no, actually, I thought that was common knowledge that Jesus loves all of us, that Jesus would hug all of us, you know, if we're willing to be hugged. I said, you know what I thought when I posted that? I'm a father and I have 3 sons. And all I thought was, if one of my sons came to me, and now my sons have not come to me, they all got girlfriends, you know, but I was just thinking, you know, like I could never turn my back on my kids, and that's all I was thinking. I would hold my hurting child, whether it was, you know, that came to me. I wouldn't condone it. I wouldn't agree with it, but you wouldn't be able to pull my children out of my arms if they're hurting. And I know that there are dads watching, and maybe you're a hardliner, and you're a tough love type of dad, and you would never talk to your kid again until your kid gets right. Well, that's not me. And you wouldn't be able to rip my children from my arms if they were hurting, whatever way they're hurting. And that's why I posted it. I was just hurting for people that I wasn't condoning the action. I was just showing my love for hurting people. And you know, and then we had a conversation on that network, and obviously I'm pretty good at debating or having a conversation, and there was nothing biblically that they could point to that would I didn't do anything wrong. As a matter of fact, you know, there are people on my page, if you go back and look at some of those comments, you wonder how, if you question whether they ever knew God at all. And but yeah, I don't know, man. So we had a lot of people that, even knowing that where I stand on that issue, they still come to 7-Day Slumber concerts. And you know, here's Will Jones here. Says not just a huge gay fan base, but a huge LGBT fan base. I'm asexual myself. Well, Will knows where I stand on that. Will knows I believe that there's 2 genders, man and a woman. But Will has come and sat with me, and I've tattooed Will, you know, a Christian tattoo on Will. And I love Will, and I'm glad that he keeps coming to our. Matter of fact, I'm gonna say this about Will, and I know that, you know, he's part of the LGBT community. I messed it up and say it all wrong, but I'm gonna say this about Will, dude. That dude was helping us load our equipment at different. Yeah, see, he's even gonna tell you, he knows I'm not making it. Like, he knows where I stand on that issue, and he still loves us because he knows we love him. Right? He knows we love him. And I got to say that Will has helped us load equipment in and stayed late after a concert when everybody else walked away, even those that were technically supposed to be helping us load in and load out from the church. And Will stayed, and he continued to load in and load out when other people walked away. So, Will, I love you. I'm glad you're here, and I pray for you. And you know, I'm just thankful that you come to the concerts. You keep coming back, man. We love you, bro. And just know that I'm not judging you, and you know where I stand, and I make no apologies about where I stand, but you know I love you, man, and I'm glad every time I see your face, man. I'm like, that's my dog, man. That's my dog. So yeah, man, that's what's up. Uh, you know. And then I got people on the left that hate me. They hate me, boy. There are some that hate me, man. And I don't know, man. I'm just a dude, man. I talk from the heart. And some things I say shock people on the right, the left, the middle. But know this, that the number one thing that I want to do is be pleasing to God. I want to serve the Lord. I want to serve the Lord with my whole heart. I want to make sure that I'm doing His will and I'm not out here messing it up. And, you know, that I'm, number two, also being a good husband and a good father. Serve the Lord first, and then be a good husband and a father to my wife and my kids. Be a good friend to people, no matter what they believe. You know, obviously, hopefully, I hope people come to know Jesus. We have people that come to our concerts that don't know the Lord. I probably have a ton of people watching right now. Well, maybe that will watch this because, you know, there may be 100 people watching you, 60 people watching you. But over the course of a couple of days, you'll have thousands, sometimes tens of thousands that watch people, you know, tens of thousands of people that will watch the video. But yeah, I mean, you'll see maybe tonight or somebody, we have a ton of people that don't even believe in God that are fans of Seventh Day Slumber. We are blatantly a Christian rock band. We are blatantly, you know, people say Christians in a band, Christian rock band, whatever you want to say. We are for Jesus. We are Jesus music. Jesus music. We are, man. Jesus metal, Jesus rock, Jesus music, right? And make no apologies about that. Christian rock band. Die hard. And we have people that don't even believe in the Lord that just love coming to our concerts. They respect us as musicians. They believe that we're good people, even though they don't believe like we believe. And they know that we stand on business. I'm not wavering from my Christian beliefs, no matter what, no matter who comes at me. I'll debate Christians. I'll debate atheists. It don't matter. If you, and I say Christians because some Christians, boy, they get behind that internet and they lost all humanity. Dude, I'm telling you, the internet can be a beautiful thing, but it is the worst thing for some people that they lose all humanity. You get on the internet, you say the most horrible, ridiculous, evil things, and you do it in the name of the Lord. I'm not talking about those who don't know Jesus, because they are going to say what they say. And even there are a bunch of good, decent people that don't know the Lord who would never say some of the things that some of these Christians say on here. And then there's those who don't know the Lord who say some of the most evil, ridiculous, satanic things you'll ever see. Okay? So you can all get it as far as I'm concerned. I don't play. And so, but for the most part, I'm not trying to argue with anybody. I just love you. I want to be a good example. And for several years, I wasn't. I was rude. I was arrogant. Um, I wasn't the best person, and I can blame it on alcohol, but I had a choice. Okay, and and for anybody that's watching right now that I've hurt, I want you to know that I'm truly sorry. This isn't some fake apology, isn't some fake humility type thing. I want you to know, and I'm truly sorry, and I can't blame it on alcohol. Um, I wasn't the best example, the best person, and I said things that I wish that I could take back. And so I just want you to know that if I have hurt you, whether you're a promoter, whether you're a fan, whether you're a friend or family, even blood or not, um, every day, man, I got to live with that, and and I wish I didn't do it. I don't live in shame, but I am ashamed of some of the things that I've done and said. So I'm talking um I'm talking about all this because I feel like God put it on my heart. And and so yeah. Anyway, I don't know what else to say. Um but like I said, even those that don't know the Lord, they come to our concerts, you're welcome. I hope, like I said, man, I don't hide this. I hope one day you end up coming to the altar at one of our concerts and you give your life to Jesus, not because I get brownie points for it, because I know the joy that comes with that. And so I'm not uh like not giving anybody a hard time who doesn't believe in the Lord watching me right now, or like being pressuring you. I'm just saying, keep coming. Keep coming to our concerts. But you know, I pray one day that you would come to know the Lord, not for because I need more points. Um, it's just because I care about you. And I've seen what God can do. I've seen what God has done. And not just in my life, but in the lives of so many people that I know. And so, like I said, just keep coming. Um, Let me see here. Jesse Rush. Me and Joe shared the Billboard charts a few years ago. Let's do it, Jesse. Let's do it again. Let's do it again, bro. You still playing? Let me read through some of these. I know I've been talking this whole time. Um it's crazy because I'm supposed to be up here, also promoting a new album and pre-orders. And I sometimes neglect that. Um, you know, I hope that you buy our new album. I hope that you pre-order our album, but there's so many more important things that and I feel like I want you to know than just hey, buy our record. I think people buy our record because they know my heart, not um, you know, I don't know. So, but I am excited about it and it comes out March 20th. Super stoked about it. I think that you guys some of you already heard it, but man, I've been listening to it and I don't normally listen to Seventh Day Slumber records. I don't just keep them on repeat. Oh man, listen to me, listen to me. But this record I've been listening to because it's like doing something to my soul, man. Like just the songs um, are so powerful. Matt Sassano. Hey Matt, thanks for saying that, buddy. But my mohawk is not supposed to be this color. It's supposed to be blue, not green. It ended up green because I neglected it. If you guys haven't checked out Matt Sassano, go check out Matt, man. He's got new singles out right now and has some great music. And you should go check him out. Let me see. Vincent Smith, the picture he was talking about earlier. Oh, you're talking to someone else. Yeah, yeah. I was like, Scott Lowe's on here. Shouts out CeeLo Productions. CeeLo Productions. Come on out to the CeeLo Productions concert. Sábado. Sunday. Read some of these. Oh, I need to see if people are still on Instagram. Yeah, people are on Instagram. Shout out to all my YouTubers watching, all my Instagrams, people. Shout out to all my Facebookers. How many of y'all got them Facebookers? How many of y'all do? Boy, I got a problem picking my nose, man. My wife will tell you that. I get in there, boy, I dig deep. I gotta dig it for gold up in there. How many pick your nose? Raise your finger if you pick your nose. I do. I have an excuse though. I was a cocaine addict. I had a $400 a day cocaine addiction. So the little clasp, is it flasp? Clasp. The little thing, flap, inside my nose is jacked up, so I have nose problems. And so I got these boogers on these chains. That's a song. Been trying to be careful about talking so much, but I had to do a live because I just felt like God wanted me to hang out with y'all, encourage some of you, and hopefully I did. I haven't read through all these comments, but I promise you, if you made a comment, even if it was earlier on, I'm gonna read it. I read all the comments. You guys mean the world to me, man. New fans, new and old alike. Some of you been with us for 20 something years. Some of you been with us for 20 days. I'm glad you're here and I love you. Oh, I love that. This is words to live by, Kevin. Kevin Condor. Condor? I wish your name was Condor. It's funny though, you have a bird picture because your last name reminds me of a condor, and yet you have a bird. That's not a condor though. A condor is a bird, right? But not condor. Is it condor? Condor. But Kevin says you can pick your friends. You can pick your nose. Just don't pick your friend's nose. Man, those are words to live by. And Kevin is smart too. Look, he says the flap is called a septum. Oh, he put a question mark. I don't know. But like sometimes I just got to rub my nose like this because I'm embarrassed to stick my finger all up in there. And plus, I don't want my wife to think I'm gross. That's the thing. Is there anybody, how many of you just give up? You don't care if your wife thinks you're gross or not. You'll fart. You'll pick your nose. You'll scratch your butt. You like, how many of you have come to a place where you just don't care anymore if your wife thinks you're gross? I have not come to that place. I'm still trying to, even with this big weight on me, I'm losing weight. I'm working on losing weight, but I still want my wife to think I'm attractive. I still want to try to look good for her. I started working out. I work out. I work out. I started working out, man, again. Not really. I haven't. I'm lying. I'm not even telling the truth. See, that's the thing. Like I'm lying right now. I started eating better. But to me that equals working out because it requires work for me to eat better. So let me just be honest. I have not started working out. That's not the truth, but I want to work out. I want to start working out. Okay? But I have started eating better and I am down 50 pounds. Now it's taken me a while to get the 50 pounds off. But if you look at some of my old pictures, ooh, so I'm down 50 pounds. I want to lose 100 pounds this year. And I would appreciate it if you would pray for me. Pray that I would be able to say no to what I need to say no to and yes to working out. And not just coming on here and telling you I work out when I clearly don't. All right. But I am going to work out. Okay. And I can say that with honesty. This is going to be my year. I'm going to have some victories. Okay. And I don't have to live like this, right? I just gave that advice to other people. I don't have to live like this, but I have to take every thought captive too. That means food. Ooh, food is one of the most difficult. Yeah, like it's difficult, man. Speaking of one of my gay fans, Gaston, glad you're here, brother. Gaston. Now, Gaston has never told me that he's gay, but you know, Gaston, I'm glad you're here. Gaston plays for a band called Kingdom Collapse. But he also used to play in a band called Relent. So, and Gaston Flores. It's good to see that you're still here, man. I didn't know if ICE had gotten you yet. But unless you're messaging from Mexico. Love you, Gaston. Hey, congrats on the new tour, by the way. I saw you guys were going out with Red. So shouts out, dog. Shouts out, man. I might come to one of those shows if I'm around, just to come say what's up. And shouts out for coming to our show in San Antonio. Thank you, bro. For real, man. I know I was messing with Gaston, man. That's my dog, though. We were gonna do a podcast one time together. First time I met you all was at Winter Jam in 2024. Debo, you got never mind. First time I met you all was at Winter Jam 2024, Fort Wayne, Indiana. Got a group pic. Shouts out to the homie Debo Bryant. That's a tough name right there, dog. Anybody named Debo, you better show some respect to. Blake, what's up, Blake Johnson? Blake been a long time fan. Did you listen to the new song by The Protest? Actually, I haven't heard the new song by The Protest, but I've heard every other song they've released. I will be listening to the new song by The Protest. Love those guys. Shouts out. ¿Qué pasó? I just got back. What's that profile, dog? Let me just blow that up real quick. I don't know what that profile is. Did you see the news about Red? Michael is leaving the band to focus on home life. Man, I get it, dude. I get it. Shout out to Michael, man. For those of you that don't know, fun fact about Michael Barnes. We have a song together. Now, he didn't sing on it, but we wrote it together. It's a song called We Are the Broken. It actually became the title track to our album. I would have loved to have Michael sing on it. Maybe I'll have Michael sing on another song. But yeah, no, I mean, look, dude, I mean, he's 20 years. 20 years of doing it, dude. It's hard, dude. It's hard. Road life, being away from your family, sometimes even being with your family is difficult. So shout out to Mike. Shout out to Red. I hope the new singer um, does well for him. I heard Dan is back on drums. Um, Shout out, dude. Go check him out. Um, Debo's his nickname. Actually, his real name is Chris. Debo, now I gotta be nervous about asking you this, but I gotta ask you. Uh, did you get that name from knocking somebody out? Because there is a Debo who's quite known for knocking somebody out. And there's a saying that goes along with that, which I cannot repeat because I'm a Christian. Um, I don't think we're playing Uprise this year. We haven't been invited this year. Maybe next year. There's probably about 48 dates on the books already for this year, and we're about to add another probably 40 or 50 dates. So you can find us on Bands in Town. How many of you guys know about Bands in Town? If you don't know about Bands in Town, now you know. Look up Seventh Day Slumber's Bands in Town page, and you'll see all our dates, ticket links, everything. But there's like 48 dates up for this year. So hopefully we're in your area. We normally do about 150 to 180 dates a year. So not 120. It just depends. But we want to see you, Jason. When I used to fight back in the day. That's awesome, bro. Little known fact, I used to do mixed martial arts. I used to do MMA. I started doing MMA years and years and years ago. I started kickboxing as a teenager. I was I made the transition from quote unquote American kickboxing to Muay Thai, and when my kids were babies, and then I started jujitsu at the same time that I started doing Muay Thai, and so I fought in the cage. I've done many jujitsu tournaments. All three of my kids did jujitsu and Muay Thai. So yeah, I used to fight as well. Um, so that's awesome, dude. Good for you, man. Unless you're talking about fighting in the streets. I did that too. But yeah, I mean, shout out to you. Shout out to you anyway, dog. Did martial arts, now just kick martial farts, Gaston says. And I don't know where he got that big fart wind as an emoji. That's pretty cool. See, it's the little things in life, like having a fart wind emoji. Like things like that can just last you. They can last you for a lifetime. You can always go back to that fart emoji when you're feeling down. Um, I hope they have you guys on Winter Jam again. Well, look, we do too. Maybe next year they will have us on there. But make sure when they're putting things up, when they're putting stuff up, like who do you want here, that you say Seventh Day Slumber. We would love to be on it. Um, well, cool guys. Look, man, I've been on here a long time. I'm gonna go back and read Here's our sound engineers on here. Jeremy says, "Love Kingdom Collapse. Came through my venue, Ram's Head, and loved them." Well, there you go, Gaston. Jeremy, meet Gaston or Gaston. Uh, Gaston, meet Jeremy. Um, Jeremy is Striper's sound engineer. He hates when I put him on blast like that, but I just brag about it because I love me some Striper. And to have Striper sound engineer now running sound for Seventh Day Slumber, because Striper is not currently on tour. We obviously know that when Striper goes back out there, Jeremy's going to go, but they're not doing a lot of dates, so we get the benefit of having Jeremy out with us on tour. Literally, and I'm not just saying this, but because I've worked with some amazing sound engineers, but I would say that Jeremy is, dude, he's the best sound engineer that I've ever worked with, and I've worked with amazing. No disrespect to any, with all due respect, because we've worked with some great sound engineers. Kristen, our sound engineer, is amazing, but she's stepped down. But no, I mean Jeremy he's been doing it for so long, and he's so good at it. It's just crazy, to be able to watch him work. So, Jeremy, meet Gaston. Gaston, meet Jeremy. I think we've met. Good friends with Drum Tech. I don't know what that means. Gaston's Mexican, so he doesn't. So it's hard to translate sometimes what he's saying. I got another one. Your hair looks like. What does this say? I got another one. Your hair looks like the edible grass from an Easter basket. Oh, you're just trying to be festive. I like that. That's funny. That's hilarious. I saw another one on here. Well, y'all were supposed to be roasting me, but I love your mohawk, bro, and the colors are so sick. Love it. You know what I will say about this mohawk is it almost looks camouflage, right? Like if we could put a little more browns in it, like, and then some solid blacks, because my hair is black, but it's also got some actual brown in it. But if you could just put some blacks and browns on top of this army green, we could have a camo haircut. I mean, haircut, hair color. Yeah. Um, I'm about to hop off, but so step off. All right, guys. But anyway, listen. Pre-orders now. We're only going to make 1,000 of our pre-orders. Okay. So you can go to probably seventhDaySlumber.com and click on the merch store. Lori, will you see if that merch store is working on seventhDaySlumber.com? And just let me know if it does. But it should. You should be able to go there or our Instagram page, and link is in the bio. And we're selling them pretty quickly, so I would encourage you to go pre-order the new album. It would help us too, um, as well, as we got some touring coming up. We want to see you in Jacksonville, Florida this weekend, and Ruskin, Florida this weekend. Friday we'll be in Ruskin, Florida. Saturday, we'll be in Jacksonville, Florida at Murray Hill Theater. Where are we going to be at in Ruskin, Florida, Lori? Mexican Treasure Troll. Oh, gosh. I love you, buddy. Ooh, green apple cotton candy, my hair looks like. Joe Rowe, your hair is fine. Spring is coming. You're set. Wait, you have hair? Hey, Ruskin, Florida, Southside Baptist Church. On the south side, yeah. Mm. South side, dog. Yeah, buddy. Southside Baptist Church, Ruskin, Florida. We're going to see you. We're going to get down in Ruskin, Florida on the south side. Southside Baptist Church. Come hang out with us, Dawn Michelle of Fireflight, her new band Altera. And shouts out to Magdalene Rose. I think it looks like a used broom from Ace Hardware. Yeah, dog. I probably could sweep up something with this. This is my old street sweeper look right here, buddy. Yeah. This is a street sweeper. What do you call this? This is called a street sweeper. That's what that's called. Look at that. Street sweeping, dog. What you know about that? Nothing. Who's your vocal coach? I ain't got one. I'm just a Mexican from Victoria, Texas, who raised by a single mom, didn't have no money for no lessons. And here I am today, still trying to sing in key when I can. Yeah, I've never had a vocal coach, man. I know that it's probably a good idea to have one, but I just never had one, man. You know who a good vocal coach would be for you? Ken Reed, our bass player, or our previous bass player. I still call him our bass player. He's still a bass player in my heart. Ken Reed, dude. That guy, actually him and Kristen, his wife, our sound engineer, our previous sound engineer, they helped me actually a lot, believe it or not. But they just knew I was feeling a little self-conscious about my voice. As I started getting older, I started getting older. I think it was because Blaise, my oldest son, started writing a lot more with me, and he writes melodies that are way up there and just crazy melodies. If you can go listen to the Death by Admiration album that him and Weston, our guitar player, wrote. They wrote that record, and then the Fractured Paradise album. They wrote the music to that record, and Blaise and I wrote all the melodies and the lyrics to the record. But Blaise would write these melodies that would match Weston's guitar, and then I'd write my melodies and we'd mix them. Now, my melodies would never be anywhere near as hard as Blaise's. So here I am, like getting older and having to learn these freaking high vocal parts and stuff. And Blaise produced my vocals, but so he got me to sing them in the studio, but I was struggling to sing them live. And so sometimes I would have a backing track with it. Well, somebody said, Joe Rowe's lip syncing, and it became a whole thing. Joe Rowe lip synced on Winter Jam. Joe, da-da-da. First of all, the video they're talking about that I lip synced, they were filming me, and also they were filming the big LED screen. Well, anybody knows that the vocals are off from the screen because the data has to run from a thing. So, so they were that they didn't understand that the vocals aren't going to match with like it's like 2 seconds off. Well, my lip syncing wouldn't be that bad anyway. At least I would like to think it wouldn't be that bad. 2 seconds off is pretty bad. If you're 2 seconds off of lip syncing, you should quit. People were telling me I should quit anyway. You're. I mean, there was some crazy comments, man. Been following you guys for years, but it's time to hang it up. You know. It's like, anyway, I'm just joking. But anyway, Ken and Kristen, shouts out because they knew I was feeling insecure, and then the backing tracks that would be there. Sometimes I wasn't hitting the right note, and it sounded a little off, and wasn't lip syncing, but people were like, well, that's still cheating. So now I don't use any backing tracks. We use harmonies, backing tracks for harmonies, but I don't use any kind of backing tracks anymore. And if you don't believe me, you can ask Jeremy Robertson over here. Jeremy Robertson, let me put the Ace Hardware says I look like Ace Hardware. This is our sound engineer. He's actually got live video of me straight off the board. But anyway, it was Ken and Kristen that helped me to find my new voice. And they were giving me pointers. So I'd say reach out to Ken, our bass player, Ken Reed. And dude, he will help you. He's a beast. So yeah. And Kristen both. Your vocals are pure talent from the Lord Jesus Christ. And then you just give them back to the Lord. Are you coming to Houston anytime soon? Yes, we are. Be following us on Bands in Town. This is our sound engineer right here. No vocal backtrack. Dude ain't lying. He ain't just trying to have my back. Now, and plus too, like, if I mess up, I mess up, dude. I've just given myself grace. I didn't used to be able to, like, if I made a mistake, I would be like, feel like it was like maybe I should not be doing this anymore. And I like really started listening to the critics. And I had to get over that because I just want to serve God. So God, have your way in me. And when it's time, you'll let me know. But I'm not going to let people push me out of my position that the good Lord has put me in. Nah, man. Don't let people push you out your position. Nah, man. Nah, dude. Nah, dude. Oh, yeah. Christopher. I need to put Christopher. That's that Italian way. Christopher. Yeah. Tell Christopher I said, what's up, man? Shouts out. I like him when he comes up and sings with me. My little buddy, man. Check out my Facebook and you'll hear the live shows of Joe singing. Yep. For good, bad, and ugly, you gonna hear me singing. But like I said, now I just give myself grace, man. It's gonna do what it do, baby. It's gonna do what it do, baby. But I feel like it made me a better singer to just not have no more like doubts. Approach it confident, knowing that I can do this. God has given me this gift and I can do it. And God has me in this position. And God didn't just bring me here to mess it all up, you know? So now I just sing with confidence. I learned some new singing from your diaphragm, but I also know, look, so like right now I have hot lemon water in here, but I also have cold lemon water. But I'm going to say this. I drink a gallon. This is baby water. Lori, you got distilled baby water. You got me drinking. There's no minerals in distilled water. Oh, it was the only water that was available during the big ice storms. She's she said the picture just reminds her of how I act. Oh gosh. Anyway, look, I drink a gallon of lemon water a day, but what does that have to do with your voice? Hydrating is so important for your vocals, but hydrating is not drinking a bottle of water before you go on stage. Hydrating starts days before. So if you're singing every day, you should, if you got to go on tour in a week or you got to go do some shows in a week, start drinking a gallon of water. Baby water. That's right. That's what I drink is that baby water. What you know about that baby water, boy? Step off, man. You don't know about that baby water. Anyway, start drinking some baby water before you, like days before, because hydration takes time. You being hydrated is not like what we're talking about, where you just have a little glass of water. Yeah, I drank 2 glasses of water before I got on stage. That's not hydrating, dog. That's not hydrating. All right. Guys, I'm gonna hop off now. But I love you guys big time, man. And Jeremy, I'll see you soon, Bubba. And I miss you, man. Look forward to seeing you again. Gaston, hopefully I can catch one of the shows with you guys in red. And to all my peeps who've just like been there for us and with us through all of these years. And to the new fans that we have right now. Just thank you guys, man, for not not judging us and stuff. But also know that we're not going to make excuses. You know, I believe that it's important to be accountable. And you heard me apologize and everything. I mean it. I've apologized many times, but at the same time, you know, I'm hoping maybe that there's somebody that I couldn't reach maybe through all the times I've apologized, maybe wasn't on a live or just decided one day to jump on and they didn't hear me apologize that last time. So I just want to make sure everybody knows that I love you and I genuinely know that I wasn't the best person for a few years there, and I'm sorry, man. I really am, dude. I don't mean dude like a guy. I mean, you know, whoever. That Hillary Clinton water. You talking about the kind that Jeffrey Epstein drank? Shoot. I ain't drinking nothing from Hillary Clinton. Liquid death. That's what they call it. Liquid death. All right, guys. Love y'all, man. Pray for all the troops in harm's way. Pray for those in the region of Israel. Pray for the Iranian people that they are liberated. That, you know, pray for our president. Whether you are one of those people that feel like he let you down because you've, you know, bought into the propaganda that this is going to be a forever war, which it's not. I believe it's not. But once again, I'm not going to debate politics right now. I'm just going to tell you that it's important that we pray for our president. It's important that we pray for those people in Iran who have been under a brutal dictatorship for 47 years. Pray for the people in Israel and pray for the people in that region. And I can't say much right now, but it's been very difficult for our family because we know people that are stuck in the region. And I was just I literally have a couple of friends in Israel right now that can't get out of Israel. And we have people in that region in the Middle East that we love and know, and they're stuck. They've seen, missiles flying over, and people that are very, very close to us. So our family's been praying nonstop. Um, so I won't go any more into it because I don't want to put anybody in danger, anybody in harm's way. And you know that all these terrorists want to do is kill people that are kill Americans, and not just Americans. They want to kill anybody who doesn't have their same ideology, and even those that do have their same ideology. So anyway, um, I'm praying, and whether you struggle with it or not, it's the right thing to do. Um, be praying. I'm talking about prayer, and so I'm just going to keep praying, and I'm going to pray for the best outcome. Pray for our men and women who we've lost 6 of our servicemen and women. I pray for their families. I can't imagine, and I don't want to know what you're going through. That's why I don't take any of this lightly. We love you. And anyway. All right, guys. Love y'all, man. I'll talk to you later.